I'm super excited about today's sponsor. They've sponsored the podcast before, and this is a topic I'm super passionate about. I fear that us as girls struggle with PMS far more than we should, and we really shouldn't. I truly get the worst PMS symptoms. My boobs are sensitive, my face breaks out, my sugar controllings are out of whack. I feel like I'm just a bottomless pit. My mood is not the vibe, and estro control has been super helpful in helping manage those PMS symptoms and making that time of the month a lot more enjoyable. Estro Control is a formula developed by Happy Mammoth, a supplement company dedicated to making women's lives easier. Say no more. Estro Control contains science-backed herbal extracts that help support hormonal health, especially if you are someone like myself who struggles with PMS. It was created to help women feel like themselves all month long and to not struggle with the feelings PMS can cause. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code Alana at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code Alana for 15% off today.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Celebrity voice impersonation not an endorsement. Why go to a single furniture store when you can go to Big Sandy Superstore? Shop and compare America's top 5 mattress brands, plus Nectar and Purple. And choose from over 22,000 in-stock appliances from the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Or furnish the room of your dreams with a large selection of American-built furniture. With financing plans for just about anyone, there's nowhere else quite like it. Big Sandy Superstore.
The following podcast is a Green Fresh Media production.
Hello, good morning, angels, and welcome back to Morning Ray. I'm your host, Lan or Alana, and today's episode is definitely something that I think you have seen, or at least I hope you've seen, written about all over social media, in the news, and it has to do with abortion, Roe v. Wade being potentially overturned, the leakage of that from the U.S. Supreme Court, and all that. And then also the pressure that female women have to be put on hormonal birth control at a young age, and the guilt that many of us experience from wanting to come off of it, from society, from peers, or even just like general. This hits very close to home because, ironically, the day I had originally scheduled to get my IUD out, we're getting very personal. My mom would say I'm sharing too much with the internet right now, but I really don't care. We're raw, real, and vulnerable over here on Morning Ray podcast, on any platform of mine, if we're going to be honest. I was supposed to get my IUD out on Tuesday. I had scheduled it because I just didn't want it really anymore. I'll go into that deeper in the episode. But that ended up being the day that this news was leaked. Actually, the night before it was leaked, at the Met Gala. But, well, not at the Met Gala, during the Met Gala. So social media was flooded with information about Roe v. Wade and all this nonsense about abortion and whatnot. And even though I live in Canada, it hit so close to home, and it brought this immense fear of getting pregnant. Don't know how that would happen. I know it's a lot harder to get pregnant, but I just had this immense fear and literally had an hour-long panic attack before my appointment, leading my mom to canceling it for me. And at some point, I will reschedule that. But for now, the IUD is staying in, even though I don't really want it. But anyhow, we'll get into that later. But we're just going to be discussing Roe v. Wade, my body, my choice, women's rights within that. I don't really have an outline, so we're kind of just going to Oh. um Someone from my high school randomly messaged me about running. If you know who I'm talking about, if you know him, um just keep this a little secret, but I guess I'm talking about you on my podcast. So if you're listening to this, hello. Randomly messaged me about running and now just messaged me saying we should run together. I'm petrified to run with someone. Almost as much as I am to get pregnant. Actually, no, I'm more scared to get pregnant. But I don't know if I can run with someone. Like, I feel like I'm getting back into running, but I'm not that confident yet. Today has been an eventful day. Let's just say that my manifesting witching powers are insane. We're gonna leave it at that. But if you listen to my episode with Trin on her podcast, The Wellness Cafe, you would know about witches. So if you are hearing this, this is kind of like your little egg hunt. On my most recent Instagram, comment the little witch emoji. And the reasoning behind that, if you haven't listened to the episode on Trin's podcast, which I really think you should, I'm really sorry this episode's all over the place, but it's kind of chaotic. I'm kind of here for it. I think it's a little more entertaining this way. Anyhow, me and Trin discussed how whenever Trin, Kaylee, and I are together, or just like me and Kaylee, or like Trin and I, or like Kaylee and Trin, whatever, anything we say ends up coming true. Like, we were in Arizona and I was saying like there's no bees, and then 2 seconds later a bee like randomly appeared, and that was the only bee I saw the entire trip. And it was like 2 seconds after saying like, I haven't seen any bees here, I wonder if they have bees here. Or like we were saying how like we wish we had like a suitcase partnership, and then we got home from New York and we got suitcases from Bays. Like, anything like we say together ends up coming true. So we say we're witches. So comment a little witch emoji on my most recent Instagram if you hear this, so I know that you're listening. I think it would be really cute and fun and cute of us. Anyhow, my mom is distracting me. Guys, I'm tired. It's late. We are not hungover this episode, but we are tired and I think a little dehydrated because I have a little bit of a headache. But it's okay. We're doing okay. It's 8:52 p.m. on a Thursday night. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I know it's not Cinco de Mayo when you're listening to this, but happy belated to those who celebrate. But anyhow, let's get into our segments. Let's get our segments done because I love doing the segments. And then we'll get into the bulk of the episode because I think it will be super, super entertaining. And then you can hear me ramble on. Thank you for listening. Also, I'm going to point it out now because I feel like I always do this at the end of the episode. But if you want to show your support and love for the podcast, I would love and appreciate, if you want, of course, only if you want, leave a rating on the podcast. You can, on the podcast app, you can leave a rating and review. So reviews when you write it out. And then on Spotify, you can just leave a rating. It's super easy. You literally just tap the stars. If you want to give me 5 stars, I really won't be mad. But that's just how you can help support the pod. You have no idea how much the ratings help benefit me and benefit us. It would mean the world to me if you could leave a rating. So if you have a moment, I'd love if you did that. And sending you kisses and love. And let's get into our weekly intentions. My weekly intention is to feel like this was my weekly intention last week, but to be honest, I don't really remember what it was. I think it was to get back into a workout routine. But my weekly intention is to run twice a week and to have 3 proper meals a day. I am just feeling not my hottest right now. I'm definitely feeling puffy and not great, and I'm really trying to love myself. But I think it's also okay to want to have goals for yourself, and it's okay to want to change your body and everything, as long as you have a healthy mindset around it, and as long as you are showing yourself love each and every step of the way. So I'm just trying to focus on moving my body to make myself feel good, fueling my body with foods that really make me feel good. I've been having some foods that just leave me feeling like gross and groggy a little too often, and I was teetering off of the side of balance. So just like getting back into a balanced mindset with fitness and my eating habits, and just making home cooked meals that make me feel really good, and making decisions that make me feel really good, like getting enough sleep, going to bed early enough, taking time to do my morning routine in the morning, like journaling. I haven't been journaling, and I had a mental breakdown last week, and that's okay, but I need to get back into journaling because I know that is what makes me feel better. Ironically, my Apple Watch told me to just take a moment to be mindful. Thank you, Apple. I'm really, really sorry for this chaotic energy. Let me know if you like this chaotic energy, but this is Lanny. This is real. This is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Okay, we're off the rockers. I promise. I'm totally sober right now. I think I'm just picking up on my mom's chaotic energy right now, and I'm going to try discipline myself into having an early night. I will let you know if that ends up happening. Okay, so weekly intention is to run at least twice. My goal right now is to run at least twice a week, no matter what the length of running is, no matter how hard it is, how easy it is. I want to run twice a week, eventually work up to 3 times and then 4 times, and to have 3 proper meals a day. And then my tip of the week is to set your big goals and then break them down into smaller goals to make them more manageable and achievable and less daunting. So for example, I want to start running consistently, but what does consistently look like to me? At the end of the last running season for me, I was running 4 or 5 times a week, and that is a little daunting for me right now. So we are breaking that down. We're starting with 2 in about 2 times a week. In about a month's time, I'll probably move it up to 3 or maybe 3 weeks. Then we're going to move it up to 4, and we'll be back at 5, 4 times a week sooner than we know it. Current favorites. I am currently obsessed with the sun. I am obsessed with the sun. The sun followed me back from LA, and it's here in Toronto, and I could not be happier. I'm obsessed with the idea of the weather getting warmer. It makes me so happy to see high teens and low 20s in Celsius, which is warm, on the weather channel, and like on the weather. Being super busy can make it really easy to fall into a dinner time recipe rut, or even with your lunches. Any meal, honestly, can get you into a rut, especially with a busy schedule this fall. You can keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every single week, so there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. It's truly a no-brainer. It does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-proportioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. It's never been easier. I personally love HelloFresh as a way to get exposure to new recipes, make my life a bit easier as a busy 20-year-old in the city. And I love that it's worry-free, it's super easy, it's convenient, and gets delivered straight to my door. Go to hellofresh.com/50ray and use code 50ray for 50% off plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/50RAE and use code 50ray 50RAE for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and thank you for sponsoring today's episode of Morning Ray.
Celebrity voice impersonation not an endorsement.
Why go to a single furniture store when you can go to Big Sandy Superstore? Shop and compare America's top 5 mattress brands, plus Nectar and Purple. And choose from over 22,000 in-stock appliances from the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Or furnish the room of your dreams with a large selection of American-built furniture. With financing plans for just about anyone, there's nowhere else quite like it. Big Sandy Superstore.
Forecast? Yes, weather forecast. Nothing makes me happier. Nothing makes me happier than not having to wear a jacket, having the choice to wear a jacket. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of throwing a jacket over my cute outfit. Sometimes it's just not the vibe. So definitely obsessed with the warmer weather and the sunshine. I'm really obsessed with running. I'm getting back into it. It's kind of hard right now, not gonna lie. It's really hard, but we are trying to find different things that make it exciting, like new routes. I kind of want to get new shoes. I really want Hoka's. Let me know if I should get the Cliftons or the Bondis, like which one is better. I really like a cushiony shoe. I like when it like springs me. So let me know by either DMing me on Alana Bloomberg or Morning Ray podcast. But I'm just like excited and loving exercising outside. I really wish Sweat and Tonic had Sweat on the Roof again this year, but they don't because of construction. And getting back into a routine. It just feels really, really good. Like, there's nothing more satisfying than waking up, doing your makeup, getting dressed, like having your packed lunch, grabbing it, making a smoothie, making your coffee at home, being a budget-friendly queen, meal prep queen, and just like not rushing to work and like just everything working out well. It feels really great. So now let's get into the bulk of this episode because we're already 12 minutes in. But we're going to talk about what is going on in the States. So if you don't know, okay, I'm going to read. This is from Global News. I'm not super political, so I don't know like which news outlets are more like left or right swung, but this is just an article from Global News. I feel like it's trustable, but essentially, a leaked initial draft majority opinion suggests that the U.S. Supreme Court will vote to overturn the Roe v. Wade decision that legalized abortion nationwide. So it's not confirmed the authenticity, but obviously this was leaked so that the public, this is my opinion, it was leaked so that the public could have the option and the ability to fight back and make sure that this doesn't happen. Essentially, by my understanding is that if this bill is overturned, states that are more conservative are highly likely to make abortion illegal in that state. Now, making abortion illegal does not stop abortion from happening. It stops safe abortions from happening, and women will still find ways to get abortions, even if it means potentially like having a high death rate. And yeah, okay. We're not going to talk too much about it. Obviously, I don't know that much about it, but it is something I want to talk about because it definitely impacted my thoughts and feelings around getting my IUD out and making me a bit more anxious. Now, I want to discuss a little bit about how I feel as a young female, a 22-year-old female who has been on hormonal birth control since the age of 14, who is actually proposed to by her doctor at the age of 13 to go on birth control, the birth control pill for my period. I feel like me and my friend Jana always say that we say I feel like too much, but it's gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. A lot of doctors, when young females come to them, at least in my experiences and hearing my friends' experiences, when they go to their doctors for painful periods, for irregular periods, for heavy periods, they are automatically just like given the pill. It is thrown at them. They're given this Band-Aid solution. There is no discussion for the majority of natural solutions to help balance hormones, natural solutions to help mitigate heavy flow, painful periods, irregular periods, etc. It's always just the pill. The pill is given. There is no other second thoughts. And then now it's like, you don't like the pill, you try other pills, and then it's the IUD, and it's like you have to be on some form of hormonal birth control. And on top of that, I feel like we're made to feel crazy when we feel like being on hormonal birth control makes us feel bloated, swollen, like we've gained weight, mood swings, headaches, anxiety all the time out of nowhere, or increased anxiety if we've previously had anxiety. And I can confidently say when I was on the pill, and I have been on I've been on tricycline low, I've been on Novril and Marvelin. Tricycline low was by far the best for me. It was the one I was on the longest and went back to. But with all pills, at a certain point in time, it was usually after the 1-year mark, except for Novril and Marvelin. The symptoms were just terrible because it was a higher hormone dosage. I would experience the most insane mood swings. I was convinced I was bipolar. Bipolar disorder runs in my family. I was convinced I was bipolar because I could be obviously like not as extreme as like manic and depressive, but I could be really happy one moment and one thing could set me off and I'd be so pissed off, or I'd feel super low and like gray. Certain pills gave me the worst PMS symptoms. Like I'd be super moody. My boobs would literally go from a B to a D. They would be so swollen and sore. Um, and then also like just like switching all the time. In a year, I switched 3 times. I was on tricycline low in January. Then I switched to like Manovrol for 3 months. And I switched to Marvelin or like vice versa. And then after 3 months of that, I switched back to tricycline low. And within that year, not that the scale really matters, but I could even tell just by looking in the mirror and how my clothes felt and how I felt that I had put on weight. And it was like nothing could stop it. Like it was just like I could be eating the same exact way. I could be moving the same exact way. And like the number just kept going up because at that point in time, I was stepping on the scale a lot. So I knew my clothes were just getting tighter and I was feeling more and more insecure. But obviously doctors are like, well, birth control doesn't cause weight gain. But obviously something happened. Like my diet didn't change like significantly. I wasn't like eating significantly more, significantly worse. I wasn't working out less. If anything, I was like working out more because it was going into the summer months. So I was walking more and whatnot. And so I transitioned to the IUD because I'm like, oh, it's lower hormones. It's more localized. It's not through the bloodstream from what I had learned. And now that I really think about it, since getting my IUD, I have experienced a lot of periods of time where I had this constant anxiety that was almost numbing. It wasn't like constant panic attacks, although panic attacks did keep happening like more frequently, but it was kind of like this constant numbing anxiety that really affected my ability to go about my day. Like I didn't feel as comfortable. It really impacted my ability to eat. It made me have no appetite because I was so anxious all the time because the physical feeling of anxiety was in my stomach and in my throat. It made me feel nauseous and I wasn't getting hungry. And this has happened so many times, but it's also really hard to tell because at the same time that I got my IUD was a few months into the pandemic in 2020. And I've also gone through so many different life changes and stages throughout this period of time. Like since I got my IUD and we've been in the pandemic, we've been in and out of several lockdowns in Ontario. I graduated school. I got my first adult job. I moved to another adult job. I moved out on my own. And I was also balancing a whole lot of things at certain points. Like I was balancing my full-time job, like my adult job, I was balancing Lululemon, I was balancing school and influencing stuff and trying to have a social life and trying to go out and date. And it was just a lot. So there's also all those factors, but I just feel like my body needs a break. And a lot of doctors tend to say that's a myth. Your body doesn't actually need a break. Like it's just hormones, like it's fine. And I feel like us as women or those that are on hormonal birth control are made out to feel crazy for mentioning these side effects that they're feeling from hormonal birth control, and they feel like they're stuck. And being super busy can make it really easy to fall into a dinner time recipe rut, or even with your lunches. Any meal, honestly, can get you into a rut, especially with a busy schedule this fall. You can keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every single week, so there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. It's truly a no-brainer. It does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-proportioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. It's never been easier. I personally love HelloFresh as a way to get exposure to new recipes, make my life a bit easier as a busy 20-year-old in the city. And I love that it's worry-free, it's super easy, it's convenient, and gets delivered straight to my door. Go to hellofresh.com/50ray and use code 50ray for 50% off plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/50RAE and use code 50ray 50RAE for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and thank you for sponsoring today's episode of Morning Ray.
This is the smell of a warm 3-day-old egg salad sandwich in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy!
Blech. And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a hefty, ultra-strong trash bag with new Fabuloso lemon scent.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Smell the difference? When life gives you stinky, get Hefty Ultra Strong with new Fabuloso lemon scent. It smells like clean, freshly picked lemons. So no matter what's inside your trash, you can stop the stink and smell the lemon.
Pressure to stay on, or at least I feel this way. And even like I've spoken to my friends about it in our conversations about it, but we feel like we have to be on hormonal birth control or else it's like not okay. And it's mostly out of this fear out of our period because we're taught from such a young age that like hormonal birth control, whether it be the pill or an IUD or a Nuva ring or like Plexicon, there's like the shot, like the depot shot or like the arm implant. We're taught that we have to have these things in order for our period to be okay, and that without it, we don't really know how to solve our period issues, whether it be irregularity, extreme bloating, extreme pain, heavy flow, whatever it may be. And there are all these methods. There's like seed cycling. There's these teas. I've been sent teas. There's these like tinctures that you can do. You can have like a hormone balancing diet. There's so many different things, but your doctor doesn't really explore or explain that to you, or at least in my experiences. And so coming off of it is really scary for a number of reasons, because we're told that this is like the most protective way. Obviously, it can be the most protective way to prevent pregnancy. But I feel like we shouldn't be fearful of using other contraceptions that aren't hormone based, and we shouldn't be fearful of what our actual period is. Like, I think the reason why I'm also fearful is that with my IUD, I have Kyleena, which is a really low dose hormonal IUD. It's meant for those who have never been pregnant before, haven't like given birth before, because it's smaller. It lasts for, we're going into a whole lesson here. It lasts for 5 years, but I don't get a period on it. So I literally haven't had a period for almost 2 years. Occasionally I get spotting, but I haven't had like a normal period. I haven't had to buy tampons or anything in so long, which is kind of fucked up if you think about it. Like, that is not really natural. Like, your body's supposed to have a cycle. It's like almost like cleansing in a way. Which kind of freaks me out when I start to really think about it. But like, why am I so scared to come off of hormonal birth control? It's not really like I'm around sleeping with anyone. It's not like I'm in a relationship with anyone. I'm single, although you guys keep falling for my Pinterest photos that I'm posting on my stories. I'm just trying to manifest over here. Like, I don't know, like, I'm petrified to come off of it because I've been taught for so long that I should be on it and that it's what I'm supposed to be on until I want to get pregnant, and that there's no other way to really practice safe sex. Or like, yeah, there's no other way to practice safe sex besides being on hormonal birth control and then using condoms as a way to protect against STIs and STDs. Welcome to Sex Ed with Lan. Just a little FYI, if you are on the pill, if you have an IUD, if you have any form of birth control that isn't a physical barrier. You still need a physical barrier. You still need to wear condoms if you're sleeping with someone who isn't your boyfriend and you guys haven't tested. Hormonal birth control, like the pill, the IUD, etc., do not protect against STIs and STDs. And this is your lecture right now. This is your big sis talking. You should be wearing condoms, especially if you're having a one-night stand or you're having fun. There's no shame here. You can have your one-night stand, but be safe, be smart, use a condom. And if he says that he doesn't want to, this is like we're speaking in a hetero, straight relationship. I apologize in advance if I'm using the wrong terminology, but if he refuses it, then he is not deserving. He is not deserving. And you are supposed to stand up for yourself and protect yourself, because STIs and STDs are not a joke. And if you do get one, go to your doctor. A lot of them can be cured by a pill, like chlamydia can be treated by a pill. But be safe, stand your ground, use your condoms. And I promise you, it feels no different. It feels no different. I mean, I can't speak on the guy's behalf, but it really does not feel different. I have never noticed a difference. So yeah, use your condoms. But anyhow, back to the topic of conversation. We're going to wrap it up a little bit soon because we're already at 26 minutes and I feel like I'm rambling on. And Mom, if you're listening to this, hello, welcome to the podcast. Dad, I really hope you're not listening to this. I don't know how I feel about you listening to this. But now I lost my train of thought, guys. Oh yeah, okay. It's so frustrating because why am I so scared to come off of an IUD? And I've spoken to so many friends who want to come off of the pill, want to stop taking it, want to get their IUD out. And it's scary because we're also uneducated on other ways of protecting ourselves. And let me tell you some ways that I researched and found out and what my plan is. So you can actually tell where you are in your cycle based on your basal body temperature. So there are apps like Natural Cycles and the Flow app, which allow you to track your cycle, to know where you are in your cycle. And then you can also input your basal body temperature that you would take in the morning when you wake up. You can use a thermometer. Natural Cycles has like their own and it connects to their app, or you can just get like a normal one and then manually input it. But based on your temperature, it can tell you where you are in your cycle. It will tell you if you are at high risk of getting pregnant, like if you're ovulating, or if you're at low risk, moderate risk, whatever. And then you can know whether to avoid having sexual intercourse. I feel like a fucking science teacher, sex ed teacher. Whether you want to decide to have sex or not, whether you want to reach out to your sneaky link or not, or whether you should be careful. So, well, I mean, you should always be careful, but just to be extra careful and take extra precautions. So that is like my method that I would plan to use. Also, just so I know where I am in my cycle, when I know when I'm going to get my period, because one, IUD, haven't had a period in like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And then with my pill, I always knew because I knew when I was getting my sugar pills. So I stopped using, I used to track it on my calendar. I still have a little heart on my calendar. When I was getting my period, I would count 28 days, the good old days. But using that, obviously condoms, and communication with whomever my partner would be. I don't have a partner right now, so there's that. But anyhow, I think we should be confident in our decisions of whether we want to be on hormonal birth control or not. We should have the ability to get an abortion if we need it. We should have access to all the resources in a safe manner, whether it be Plan B, whether it be condoms, whether it be wanting to be on the pill, whether it be wanting to have an IUD, whether it be wanting to have the depot shot or the arm implant, whatever it may be. We should have access to all these things, and it also shouldn't be taboo. We should also know that there are holistic means to balancing your hormones and bettering your period and your cycle and everything. I think it's really crazy that this is happening in the States, and it could happen anywhere. So this is my little sign lecture to you to register to vote wherever you live. You should always exercise your right to vote. And I don't care who you're voting for, but vote for whoever sits well with your decisions. And remember that you are in control of your body, and vote for the person or the party that is going to allow you to continue to access the resources that you need. Like if you need, God forbid, an abortion. Vote. Whether it's for those reasons or not, you should always be voting. Even if you don't agree with everything that a certain party, there's not going to be a perfect party, but exercise your right to vote. Gen Z, it is so important. I feel like so many people don't want to vote, or they're not educated to vote, but please vote. It is so important. And donate in the States wherever you can. I know Eli Rallo is having a donation thing on her stories to organizations that help women get the services that they need surrounding safe sex and pregnancy, abortion, etc. So check that out. I'll put that in the show notes. I'm sure it will still be open. I think she's like raised like $30,000, which is insane. And share it with your boyfriend, share that with your loved ones, with your girlfriend, whoever. I know this episode was super chaotic. Feel free to slide into my DMs if you ever need any help. I'm your big sis, and I want to be there to help you. And also, I'm going to do a little promo for my Sunday series on Instagram because it's so much fun. I don't know why my voice sounded like that, but it's so much fun. It is called Best Tea, like TEA, and it's where you spill your spicy, sexy secrets and confessions anonymously. I mean, I can see your name, but the followers can't. Well, I can see your username. I won't out you, don't worry. But I do it every Sunday, so look out for my stories on @AlanaBloomberg. And if you made it to the end of this podcast episode, I thank you and I appreciate you and I love you very, very much. And if you want to leave a rating or review, I'd really appreciate that. I love you guys so much, and we'll chat soon. Bye, guys.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.